Good morning, everyone. Today we're talking about individuality and being yourself. So today, Shaggington and I wanted to share this story about Mulan, who encounters that challenge of figuring out how to best be oneself. This is called From the Stars in the Sky to the Fish in the Sea. Once upon a time, in a little blue house on a hill on the edge of town, a baby was born. And they were born when both the sun and the moon were in the sky, so the baby couldn't decide what to be. Boy or girl, bird or fish, cat or rabbit, tree or star. The baby couldn't decide. So the baby looked a little like everything. They looked very strange. All the same, the baby's mother gave her child a bath and rocked them in her arms. "Your name," she said, "is Mulan." And she sang a song that her own mother had sung to her long ago. "Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be. From the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. You can crawl like a crab, or with feathers fly high. And you know that I'll love you with an endless supply." And even though they still couldn't decide, the baby felt loved. Mulan grew up to be a strange, magical child who was always changing. They grew feathers and wings to fly with bluebirds in the mornings, scales and a tail to swim with fish in the afternoons, and fur and paws to play with puppies in the evenings. And still, no matter how they changed, their mother loved them and they felt safe. One day, it was time for the child to go to school, and they were so excited. They grew a tail of peacock feathers and a coat of tiger stripes. "Have fun," said Mulan's mother. But when they got to school, the other students were either boys or girls, and they had no feathers, no scales, no leaves, no fur, no fins, not even any sparkles. No one invited Mulan to play, and one boy even tugged out a tail feather. The next day, they wore a turtle shell and porcupine spines, and no one pulled or poked at them, but the other children still pointed and whispered. The day after, Mulan wore no feathers, no scales, no leaves, no fur, no fins, no shells, no spines, not even any sparkles. Mulan was invited to play baseball with the boys, and no one pointed, whispered, laughed, or stared. However, when Mulan joined the little girls playing hopscotch— "Boys don't play hopscotch," said a little girl. "Are you a boy or a girl anyway?" asked the little boy. "Didn't you have a shell the other day?" asked the little girl. "And feathers the day before?" "What are you supposed to be?" said several children at once. "I don't know," shouted Mulan, and galloped out of the playground on horse's hooves, swam through the stream with a fish's tail, and soared up the hill on an eagle's wings. Mulan went to their mother. "I wore feathers and stripes so that the other kids would think I was beautiful, but they thought I was weird. And so then I wore a shell and spine so that no one would pull or poke me, but they still wouldn't talk to me. And then I tried to be just like everyone else, but I haven't made any friends. I can't decide what to be. Why do I have to be just one thing?" "It isn't always easy to be different from everyone else," said their mother. "But you can only be who you are." "What if the other children don't like who I am?" sniffled Mulan. Their mother smiled, sadly. "I don't know," she said, "but I do know this. Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be. From the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea." Mulan felt loved that night, and they slept a deep sleep. The next day, Mulan wore fur, feathers, scales, leaves, and many sparkles that glittered like stars. For a moment, none of the other children spoke to them, and then a little girl said, "You can fly? That's so cool." "I like your sparkles," said a little boy. "I'm sorry I pulled your feathers," said the boy with red hair. "I was a little envious of them." Mulan asked, "Does anyone want to play with me?" And they showed the other children how to gallop like horses and climb like monkeys and swim like fish. It was fun to be many different things. And the child of fur, feathers, scales, leaves, and sparkles, who was neither boy nor girl, but many things and always changing, felt happy. And in the little blue house on the hill on the edge of town, Mulan's mother smiled and sang the song her mother had sung to her once upon a time. "Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be. From the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. You can crawl like a crab or with feathers fly high. And you'll know that I love you with an endless supply." You never have to be just one thing. And it is not always easy to know who you are, and sometimes even harder to be true to ourselves. But know that you bring something unique and special into the world, and I'm glad you are you.